Term and meaning. To the term Romanticism come from the French Roman novel. The terms allude to fiction as opposed to a reason of enlightenment. The first documented appearance of the term is due to James Boswell in his travel book An Account of Corsica. Romanticism was an artistic, cultural and literary movement that took place at the end of the 18th century in England and Germany, spreading later to other countries and Europe and America. Romanticism broke with ideas of neoclassicism and sought to emphasize nature and melancholy. Origin and chronology. Some consider the beginning of Romanticism to be the Lyrical Ballads, a collection of poems by William Wordsworth and Samuel Coleridge from 1798. Other authors, however, claim that this movement began a decade earlier. It developed in the first half of the 19th century, spreading from England and Germany to other countries. Historical framework. It will be liberalism, nationalism, industrial production, and the wars of independence that the Romantic sentiment will be expressed. Basis and characteristics of Romanticism. Its fundamental characteristic is the rupture with the classicist tradition. Authentic freedom is constant search. Romanticism favors, above all, individualism, exalts the figure of the individual as the center of creation. Originality seeks to erect subjective expression as the center of creative production. Nationalism exalts the value, history, and identity of the culture of a people prior to classicism. Emotionality emphasizes emotion, passion, imagination, and feelings over reason. Rejection of neoclassicism seeks to break with classical and academic norms. Nostalgia for lost paradise and the imperfect unifies an open world versus the perfect world. Romanticism in literature and music. In Germany, Romanticism in literature emerged with Goethe, Brentano, and the brothers Grimm. In the field of philosophy, Schelling, Hegel, and Kant stood out. In France, with authors such as Chateaubriand, Alexander Dumas, Gautier, and Victor Hugo. In the United States, through writers such as Edgar Allan Poe and Washington Irving. In Spain, we can mention the writers Larra, Gil, and Carrasco and Becker. Musical Romanticism was the musical expression within the current of Romanticism that began in the 18th century, characterized by the search of expression of emotions and the feelings through music. Themes of Romanticism. The Middle Ages as inspiration. Study of popular literature, regional language literatures. Rise of nationalism. Rejecting the society of their time, they specialized and admired the Middle Ages. Originality. As opposed to the imitation of models of antiquity that was made at neoclassicism, the Romantics valued the novelty, the different. They were the first to defend originality in art. Oniric themes. Goya in his last stage, William Blake and Fuseli are examples of artists who let themselves be seduced by the world of dream or nightmares. Current events. Géricault deals with a real shipwreck, showing the suffering of the people. Delacroix shows a steam from the war of Thors against Greek. Landscape and the individual in the face of nature. William Turner, in his work Snowstorm at Sea, is an example. The artist tries to reflect a storm, but first he lives the experience by tying himself to the mast on the deck of a ship. The landscape that had been forgotten by neoclassicism is now appreciated in a real way. Scenes of man in the midst of nature are common in Corot, Millet, Constable, and Friedrich. Rebellion. The Romantic fights against the established. His models are the marginal characters such as beggars, pirates, convicts. In Spain, the figure of the bandit will also be used. Oriental and customary themes. The desire for freedom is expressed in composition with Oriental themes because of exoticism. Romantic Oriental refers mainly to Arab culture rather than to the Far East. The themes of Odalski, the harem, and them of Delacroix, fortunately, revolts or battle are treated with baroque complete but with the new feeling of freedom. Traditions and local cultures are appreciated with customary themes. Nationalism. Romanticism is interested in what it considers genuine manifestations of the soul of the people. Therefore, it collects popular forms of literature and combines legends and traditions of each region. It also takes social customs and folklore as an artistic theme. More color, less strokes, and undefined counter. The expression of feeling made the artist show the brushstrokes or touch the kisser strokes. Delacroix advised to sketch the movement using a quick stroke to capture the expressions. Some Romantic artists. Some important Romantic artists by order of birth are Francisco José de Goya, a Spanish painter. His work includes oil paintings, drawing and murals. La Maja Desnuda, La Maja Vestida, La Maja de Carlos IV are some of his most representative works. William Blake, English painter and poet. He used both disciplines together to create works such as The Old Man of Days, Newton, and Nebuchadnezzar. Caspar David Friedrich, German painter. In his works such as The Walker on the Sea and A Bay in the Oak Grove, the use of oil and canvas with landscape representation stands out. Joseph Mallory William Turner. English painter, he excelled in the representation of landscape in oil and watercolor. Among his most recognized paintings are The Shipwreck, Snowstorm, and The Burning of the House of Parliament. Eugene Delacroix, French painter. His work is characterized by intensity of colors and deals with themes such as war, freedom and religious issues, liberty, leading the people, and the death of Sardanapalus are two of his most recognized works.